Hello again, my name's Diane and I make and sell quilts for an online Etsy shop. Sometimes it is just too difficult to leave a big print in the shop when you see one, and this kingfisher just called to me, British Waterways quilt. So if you'd like to see how I made it step by step, stay with me. So I thought you might find it interesting to see the step-by-step process of how I've made this quilt. And so there is a all-over green design, which is almost like pondweed. Really lovely green. So there's that piece, and there's this piece, sort of a hint towards Monet, the sort of watercolour background. Green lily pads, a lovely black striking silhouette of reeds, and then a salmony orange water lily. That's the second piece. And then there is this really lovely butterfly on a lily pad with the same colouring lily, and it looks like a pond perhaps with raindrops on. Really, really pretty. And then there's this one. I've saved the best to last. This gorgeous, gorgeous kingfisher with sort of shadowed reeds behind, silhouette, and a common blue little butterfly. So lovely. He's got some nice russet on his chest. So now I have those 4 pieces of fabric. What design quilt shall I use them in? So I'm looking to find a pattern that keeps this lovely chap intact. I don't want to be cutting into his head or anything. I want to keep that whole, and I'd like to keep as much of the pattern around it as possible. This is the feature, this is the star of this quilt. And so I'm looking for a pattern that will accommodate that. And so I've come across this around the twist design, and I'm thinking that this would be the feature window for the kingfisher, and then the smaller window will be the window for this lovely fabric. So those will be the 2 feature windows, and then I will edge a sort of an intertwining trellis around the outside. So if you break down those blocks, there's essentially 4 blocks. There's block A, I've called this, which is the same as block C, but the colours have been rotated, like that. And then you've got block B, which has alternate snowball colours. So whatever 2 colours you use in the trellis, you'll use those as a little snowball in the block. So I'm auditioning now the colours to go around these windows, these feature windows. The green works beautifully, it picks up that lily pad. Obviously that works brilliantly well with the kingfisher. And now I'm onto the Monet lilies, this beautiful fabric here, which works wonderfully again with the kingfisher, definite. However, I don't think the placement of these next to each other does either fabric justice. So, and those, the lilies, are the same colour, they work beautifully well, but from a distance I don't think there's enough contrast between the water droplets on the pond and the water on the background there. So I decided to go with this glorious mottled orange, this beautiful fabric. Anyone that knows me knows I love orange. It's such a happy colour, and it's complementary to the purple blue ranges, and I think that works really well. green bounces off it. The blue looks beautiful. There is a touch of orange in there, in the middle of the lily. And also it brings out the russet on the kingfisher's face and on his chest. So I think that will just enliven this quilt, and that's where I'm going. But all is not lost for the Monet water lily fabric, because I have decided that I will extend this trellis pattern on the outside here, leave the green flat, extend that out and add there. So the blue now will come into that on the edge of the quilt, and the orange will bring in the little lilies with the purple butterfly. And so the only fabric to be touching this lovely water lily blue will be the trellis, which will be green or orange. And I think that will look beautiful. And there we go. That's one of the kingfisher feature windows pieced together. If I had a 10.5-inch piece of kingfisher fabric, and I could have just snowballed the sides, but because the fabric was tight, I've had to piece it. But I think it's going to look nice. And here we go. This is the secondary block, and you can see there is a central panel which is non-directional, so that makes things a whole lot easier. And that was 5.5-inch square, and there was 2 side pieces. They are 3-inch wide, 5.5-inch deep, and the same on the bottom and the top. And then they've got 3-inch cornerstones. Here we are. It's really beginning to take shape now. You can see that the central part is all pieced and the side border is on. And now I have the bottom border and the top border, and then we're ready to start quilting. It's really heavy work. It's about 60 inches square, so with the cotton top and batting and backing, it's going to be quite heavy, but it'll be worth it. It's going to look beautiful. I'm going to quilt it in a silver thread, because I think that will be the best to show up. I'm going to go in the ditch, and I'll show you how we get on as that progresses. So I'm working slowly on the quilting, as you can see, in the ditch, and I've used a silver grey, and I've also put this little contraption on so that where there isn't a seam to follow, this little arm is the marker, so that follows the seam. Sort of counterintuitive really, that you're watching here while your needles go in here, but it works. So it's coming on nicely. Go. I'll see you on the other side. So I thought I'd almost finished. As I said, I was going to stitch in the ditch and then just use the guide to carry on and have our stitching the same distance apart. Unfortunately, just it's just flat. It feels lovely, and the quilting is functional. There's enough quilting there to hold the 3 layers together, but it just doesn't sparkle at all. So I've decided that I'm going to go across diagonally now. Junk all the way, and then junk all the way. Technical terms, junk. And we'll see what that looks like. See you later. Okie dokie, I'm on the last quarter now of quilting. As you can see, I'm going across on the squares, and the silver thread doesn't take away from the image on the cream, so I'm really pleased with that. I wanted to keep this kingfisher. And then over on the blue, it is more noticeable, but it still looks lovely. I'm really pleased with it. So I'll show you when it's finished. Almost done now. And look at this. Isn't it pretty? So soft. It is Egyptian cotton backing, 400 thread count, so it'll be hard wearing. It was a good call to add the extra quilt in. Look at that, so pretty. Just got to do the edges now. Almost complete. As you can see, there's the quilted interior, and I've run some straight line stitches on the outside, on the border. There is a row of stitching here, machine stitching, and I'm just putting another row here on the edge. I will make sure that it's robust, so it strengthens the very edge, stops any wear and tear. And then sew my label on and take pictures for the shop. There we go. I've hand sewn the label on, and the edge has all been bind, you can see. Nice little neat white corner. Whoops. So that's it. All done. If you've enjoyed watching this video and you'd like to see some more, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and when I make some more, you'll be sure to join me. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.